Hello guys, welcome to the next video on Maven tutorial for beginners. In this video, we will see how we can create our first Java project using Maven. So for example, I have created a directory in which I want to create my first Java project using Maven. So if you don't have this directory, you can create it and then just copy the path of this directory and then open your command prompt. If you don't know how to do this, you can right click on your Windows 8 start menu button and then click command prompt and then just write cd, which will change the directory for you, and then paste the path you have copied and then press enter. Now to create a Maven project, what you need to do is you can give this type of command, which is mvn, then just write archetype and then colon generate. And what does this command do? This Maven archetype generate command is used to generate project from an existing template. Now normally what happens is, if you are a developer and if you are not using Maven, then you need to make the project structure by yourself. And this in itself is very tedious task if you want to be a perfect, if you want to make a perfect directory structure for your project. And if you are a new Java developer, then you may do mistakes while creating this directory structures. And this command will help you to create a perfect directory structure for you. Now there are several archetypes defined by many developers and project groups on the Maven repository online. And when you give this command, what it's going to do. So let's press enter and let's see what happens. But before giving this command, make sure that you are connected to internet, because it's going to download some plugins from internet. So just press enter, and once you press enter, it's going to download those plugins. So you can see it's scanning for projects and then it's started downloading some files from here. Now what it's downloading? These downloads files are something which are called Maven archetype plugin, which are required whenever you are going to create your first Maven project. And whenever you give this Maven archetype generate command, it's going to search for these plugins in your computer first at a specified location, and if it's not found, or if these plugins are not found, then Maven is going to download these plugins and then put it in that directory for you. And this is going to be done for the first time. Maybe from the next time, if you already have these plugins, Maven will not download these plugins for you. Now after downloading all the plugins, Maven will give you these options, and you can see these numbers here, 15,060, and when you scroll up, you can see lots of numbers and some text is written in front of them. These are all the archetypes, right? So these are all the archetypes from which you can choose from. And by default, Maven will choose a Maven archetype quick start archetype, which is basically to create a Maven hello world project with source and test classes. And you can see the number of this archetype. This number can be different in your case because these archetype number changes with time. So in your case, if you are using this Maven archetype generate command, this default number can be different in your case. Okay. Now if you want to create this sample project, you can here press enter instead of writing any number, and it's going to create a sample project for you. Otherwise, you can choose a number from this list of archetypes. This list of archetypes will give you all kind of project templates here. For example, you want to choose some kind of RESTful Spring project, then you can choose this number, which is 1556, for example. Or you can browse through this list and choose the project or kind of project you want to make. So right now we want to make a default project, so you can just write, which is this number I'm typing here, or otherwise you can press enter directly without writing any number here. So let's press enter to create a sample project, and now it's going to give you these options. Now what are these options? So since archetypes are the template and they intend to reflect the current best practice, they can evolve in time. Thus, they have their own versions. Maven will ask you which version of archetype you want to use. So you can see different type of versions listed here. We are going to choose the last option, which is the latest version, but if you want to choose the previous versions, you can freely do this. So I'm going to just type 6 here, which is reflecting 1.1 version, and I'm going to press enter. Now in the next step, we will be asked to provide the group ID. Now why this group ID is asked? Now every Maven project have its group ID, artifact ID and version, and Maven will ask you to provide these IDs in 3 steps. First it will ask you to provide group ID, then it will ask you to provide artifact ID, and then it will ask you to provide the version. And this group ID is generally unique amongst an organization or a project. Now for example, your organization is for example CodeBind. You are working for an organization called CodeBind, and the website for this organization is codebind.com. So the convention is to give the website of this organization in reverse order. For example, your organization website is codebind.com, so you can provide here com.codebind. Okay, and this can be your unique group ID. Okay, and now we are going to press enter, and now we are asked with this artifact ID. Now what is this artifact ID? The artifact ID is generally the name that the project is known by. So you can give the name of your project, for example, my first Maven project or my Maven project. Now let's press enter, and now it's asking us for the version, and it has given us this small hint here, which is 1.0 minus snapshot. We are going to give the exact same version name which it has given us. So just write 1.0 minus or hyphen snapshot. So why this is called something like 1.0 hyphen snapshot? So whenever you see a project with a version something like this, which has this keyword called snapshot, then it's in the development version, right? So it's not a release version, but it's a development version. So this snapshot keyword indicate that it's a snapshot version. Now whenever you build your project, you can generate a jar file or a var file for your project, and the jar or var file name will be this name, which is artifact ID dot your version name. So artifact ID is my Maven project dot 1.0 minus snapshot, and then the extension, for example, dot jar. So press enter, and now it's going to ask you for the package, and it's giving us this hint also. So we will follow the hint. We will just give com dot code bind, but we are going to generate our code inside this demo folder, right? So whenever Maven is going to create the sample project, this will be created in this folder structure com.codebind.demo, and inside this folder is going to create your class directory and your test directory. Okay, so just provide this and then press enter, and once you press enter, Maven will ask you to confirm your choices for the group ID, artifact ID, version, and package name. And if you agree with these values, you can just give Y and then press enter, and then Maven is going to create your folder structure for you. And you can see build success. It means your folder is created, or your Maven project is created. So you can browse to the directory in which you want to create your project, and you can see your project name, my Maven project, which we have given here. You can see my Maven project, right? And inside this my Maven project, you can find this source directory and this pom.xml. This introduction of pom.xml I have given you in the first video, but we will see this in detail in the next video. And let's go inside our source folder, and inside this source folder we have our main directory, and inside the main directory we have this Java directory, and then com, then codebind, and then demo, and then we have this sample Java class for us, right? Once again we will go to the source directory, and this time we will go to the test directory. It also has Java, com, codebind, demo, and then your sample test class. Okay, so this is how you can generate your first Java project template using Maven. Now in the next video we will see some more details of this project and what this pom.xml is, and we will move forward with our tutorial. So stay tuned, and please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.